Yo, goofy ass need to stop asking people for food then. Hey, what's going on? What is going on? You are now tuning into the Heavy Hitters. Let's get it. I hope y'all didn't catch that at the beginning.
I forgot what it's on.
We do not apologize for none of it.
Oh.
As y'all already know, man, this is Wednesday night, man. So you absolutely know that this is the Heavy Hitters Wednesday. I am your host, Six Man K Styles. And to my stage left, as y'all know him as the Mad Scientist, aka Senator Palpatine over here. Mad Mike Sports. And down here at the bottom of the screen, as you already know, this is the calm before the storm. The Minister Jew Talk Sports. And welcome to your 3 keys to victory with the Heavy Hitters. Now, before we go ahead and get this show popping, there's a particular phrase that we like to use. What is that phrase exactly?
What real? That real Ripley?
Roll call. I don't know why I just did that. It just. I thought I just tried something different. I ain't know if that was gonna work or not.
This came out of nowhere.
Exactly. You know, that sometimes happens to me if for some reason, if I get stiff, my body tends to do that automatically. People be asking me if I got Tourette's or not. I'm like, no, I don't.
Oh man, what in the world?
Especially when it get cold, boy, because I be talking all of something, and then I just do that. No reason. But today's roll call, we're gonna be featuring Joseph Thornton. We got Coach Unchained. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe and follow him, as you get some not more insight knowledge from the coach's mind. Think about that for a second. As well as we got some more of our AFM brethren in here as the Falcon therapists and Big Ant in the building. We got Andrew G, Jamarius, Bubba Gump. We got Darnell Partridge, D. Coleman, Pamela Johnson, William Amy, Pat Norris.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say Pamela James.
Well, James, but the buddy like junk in the trunk. Ooh. I said you're up. Oh, junk in the trunk.
Oh, junk in the trunk.
Oh, and what you whoa.
Oh man,
we got Workflow Dre, we got Low Ski, we got Blackberry, another one of our family, one of our brothers. We got Silas Draven, Nathan Floyd, Dre Murphy, TJ Smith, ATL Leo, Mucho Grundy, Marcus Johnson, Mm, We got Sonya in the building, one of my peoples. Smacktown, Dirty, Isaac Crimes, Pody TV, Bridget, Kelsey. Uh-oh. Y'all better be on y'all best behavior. She's gonna give you the business and not that business you think of. We got Arthur James Graham Jr., Jamal Grant, Ken J. Davis. All right. Hold on, let me do this. 3, 2, 1. Hey. Sudden cut off. All right, man. Enough of the shenanigans, man. We appreciate y'all tuning in to the Heavy Hitters.
I'm nice and calm. I'm nice and calm. I had to get
boy. I don't know, but for anybody that may have missed it before this show, Mike went on one of his weekly ass rants. This is the only guy. This is the only guy I know that get that. In order to calm him down, you gotta let his ass go off.
That was pent up.
That was pent up, man. So before we go ahead and start this, I want to ask everybody a question here. How long have y'all been rocking with the Heavy Hitters? I think I've asked this before, but I want to see. I want people to do it again. I said your wrongs in the house. Watch your mouth. Look at the white shoe. Look at the white shoe. What's the matter? You can't call nobody.
Oh my God.
How about, hey, Chuck in the trunk, how about you and Yellow? We go back in the room and do the Menage a 3. All right. So pretty much for 2 seasons, everybody about a couple seasons. Man, we definitely appreciate y'all. People said off season last year. Joseph said been rocking with your ass since the balcony.
Ooh.
Got the 2020 season.
That man said the balcony.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, man, I froze my ass out there, boy.
So we definitely appreciate the loyalty, man. Let's go ahead and get to these keys, man. Let's go ahead and get to. I
want to say this. I've been rocking with Jew since he had the fro. I just want to say, everybody remember Jew with the fro?
Hey. That was when I first started my channel. So you've been A1 day one.
A1 day one. Right, where it said, we are the one. You're the two. We're the one.
Right. We are the one.
Oh. Okay. So only reason I asked that question is we're gonna save something a little. I got a question for y'all a little bit later. But let's go ahead and kick these 3 keys off, man. As we already know, man, the Atlanta Falcons have an interesting matchup against the San Diego Chargers. Now, as we know about this matchup, the San Diego Chargers are a 3-point, from what I've last seen. Let me pull it up right now just to be on the safe side so I don't sound like a complete ass. Right now, the Chargers are a 3.5-point favorite against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's see, everybody already got said, yeah, you feeling a little oozy. I'm like, I don't give a damn what tribal teeth have to say. So the Falcons are going into another game where they are the underdogs. it's a very interesting matchup. Let's say as the Falcons are 4-4, the Chargers are 4-3. We are 3-1 at home. They are 2-1 on the road. So I think we ought to do this thing nicely here, man. Let's go ahead and get these three keys out the way. I thought I set it up just a little bit. And we're going to do something different here for a change today. I'm going to kick off the three keys.
Whoa! He really don't give a damn what the chocolate chips.
Moi?
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna kick it off. And like I said, this is actually me running point for the first time. So bear with me, people. Bear with me. Okay, so my key for this week is the defense must set the tone. Now, last week, we kind of saw the defense give up plays, and actually all season really been giving up plays and, being stout in the run game, by the way. Like I said, last week was like the first time somebody ran roughshod over us. So they have to kind of get back into trying to establish that tone, stop the run, because what we're dealing with here is we're dealing with a San Diego team in which is two top receivers, and Keenan Allen, he's questionable, and no Mike Williams. So we can't go in this game thinking that, okay, this is going to be easy peasy. Because Austin Eckler right now has 60 receptions right now in 7 games. So Justin Herbert right now, number one go-to guy is Austin Eckler. So we're going to have to contain this. Is where the linebackers are going to have to be a key in this game. Rashad Evans, Michael Walker, Troy Anderson, Lorenzo Carter, Ogundeji. They're going to find ways to get Austin Eckler this football. And Everett, the tight end that they have, is sneaky in a way. Like I said, his numbers don't look like it, but he's very sneaky. But we definitely must disrupt this passing game with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is not 100% healthy, so we're going to have to put him on his ass. We got to stop Austin Eckler. We can't be we can't be giving up another 350, 360 plus passing yards. We can't do it this game. So defense needs to be stout. What's your take on that?
I agree with you, Kay. When it comes to the defense, they definitely have to set the tone in this game. Definitely have to set the tone in this game. But you mentioned something that's key, and it was Austin Eckler, the running back. That was a key point that you made, because right now he's their leading receiver. And what have we been harping on with these linebackers? These guys don't cover well. Both Evans, T1000, when he's out there, he's the best coverage linebacker we have. And then Michael Walker. Those guys are going to have to be solid on Sunday as far as in coverage, because Austin Eckler is going to be one of the guys that he's basically that security blanket for for Herbert, that he wants to dump the ball down to him either in the flats. And we seen in that Tampa game that kind of killed us with Tom Brady just dinking and dunking all day. So in this game, it's going to be important that They stopped the screen pass because that's something that the Chargers love to do with Austin Eckler, and they love to get him out in open space against linebackers in single coverage, like manned up, because he's a guy you can put in the slot. He's similar to a Christian McCaffrey. He's not the biggest guy, but he's good in open field at making guys miss. So in this game, it's going to be important for the linebackers, pretty much everybody out there on the field, to tackle well in open space, because Herbert will get him the ball in space and let him do his thing. And Austin Eckler is one of the better running backs run after catch. Like, that's one of the things that makes him one of the better running backs in the league, is his ability not only to run the ball out of the backfield, but take those little short passes and make those like basically an extension of the running game. So I definitely think that that was something you said that was really key for the defense. And another thing that stood out to me in this last game, and you talked about it a little bit, is our pass rush and also stopping the run. We talk about it all the time. I really think that teams, for whatever reason, as we talk about it being a passing league, they don't try to establish the run against us. And I really think that if I'm a coach and I'm coaching against the Falcons, I'm trying to run the ball. Like, after what I seen last week, I'm trying to run on us, but a lot of these teams are not built the way that the Falcons are built. Like, we're a run first team. Most teams in the NFL now are pass first. So that kind of benefits us because we're a fast defense. We're physical and we swarm to the football, but we're still not really that big in the trenches when it comes to the defensive tackle position. And I think that's where the Carolina Panthers kind of had their way. Grady Jarrett, we know that he's a smaller defensive tackle. Yeah, he's strong. Yeah, he's a beast, but he wants to get after the passer. Let's be real. I mean, he can do the dirty work, both him and Taquan Graham. But when you're consistently double teaming those guys, you can kind of push them out of the hole at certain points, especially if you wear them down by running the ball. Like the Carolina Panthers kind of wore us down because they ran the ball for 4 straight quarters. And by the time the fourth quarter came, Grady Jarrett and Taquan Graham, even though they're going to battle, they're going to hustle, the butcher in there. All those guys are hustlers. They're going to, fight and claw and do everything they can. But I really feel like you can wear our defense down because we're still not really deep on the defensive line, especially in the middle of our defensive line. Yeah, we have the outside linebackers, but we really don't have the size up front in the middle of that defense, at that nose position and at that 3 tech. Grady and pretty much Taquan Graham are the guys. You got guys that they rotated in last week that I think helped when you rotated Timmy Horn in the game. And you also rotated, I think Dalton played last week for the first time. They elevated him. And I seen him, I think he wore like number 94. He's pretty big as well. But we're going to have to rotate guys. So I think in this game, the Chargers are not a team that's going to establish the running game as far as running at the teeth of your defense. So I feel like that bodes well for our Falcons as far as setting the tone, because I feel like we're the more physical team. The Chargers are a finesse team. They're similar to our former Falcon team. They want to throw the football on offense. They're not really a physical team. So that's going to benefit our Falcons in this game. And I think Carolina was a tougher matchup because they play that gritty style of football the way that we like to play that gritty style of football, where it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And last week we seen it was a heavyweight fight because we both were pretty much running the same or similar style of offense and defense, where this week the Chargers are not a team that's going to try to punch you in the mouth. So I think that bodes well for this defensive line to keep those guys fresh. But I think the biggest matchup is going to come for those linebackers. They're going to get tested in this game to see if those guys are ready. And we're going to get tested again on the back end, similar to the 2 games ago where we just played the Cincinnati Bengals. We're going to see if we cleaned up some of the stuff we saw in that Cincinnati game, because the Chargers are a team that likes to play up and down. They're kind of like the Golden State Warriors, that 3 wide receiver. They're going to spread you out, and we're going to see if we, can stand up, because against Cincinnati, they torched us. So I hope that it's different in this game.
It's funny that you said that, because you ran right into what I was going to say. One of the most underrated aspects of the games of the corners, our starting corners, Casey Hayward and AJ Terrell, those guys like to hit. They love to hit. They enjoy tackling guys. And if you go back to Cincinnati just had their way with us after the catch. That's where they really destroyed this Falcons defense. So to go along with that, they have to stay hit. All right, hit a guy, and he has to stay hit. Without what I mean by that, one guy hit him. We need the next guy a half a second later, tagging his ass right behind that first initial hit. So if you're gonna get hit, we want them to stay hit. The old dirty bird, you know what I'm saying? The old dirty bird, gang tackling. That's what we need in this. This is a prissy team. We need to come out and knock them in the face and keep knocking them in the face.
AKA, these ain't the same old Falcons. Just to keep it in short, swift. So, yeah, I definitely agree. And I was about to say, the new corner, Mr. Physicality himself, who the new number 21 of the Atlanta Falcons.
Boy, they savage, bro. Our people do not catch what the Falcons be. They are really savage with them, boy.
So should play a factor in the game. Yeah. So let's
One
go.
more thing before you move on, Kay. You made a good point too. Rashad Fenton, he played also in the division against the Chargers. So that's another thing that we got to look out for. Terry, these guys are smart, man. Like, he's familiar with these wide receivers. He's familiar with the Chargers because he's coming from Kansas City. He played them 2 times a year. So that's one thing that I didn't pay attention to until you just said that. And somebody asked me on my last video, I don't remember exactly who it was, but they asked, is he going to play this week? And I was like, I'm not too sure because he's just getting to the Falcons. So I don't know if they're going to be able to implement him right, plug him right in, plug and play. But they may be able to do that because he's familiar with these guys. He's familiar with this team. He's familiar with their scheme. So we know Dean Pease likes to disguise things, but Rashad Fenton could be one of those guys that could play this week. And he plays, he played well for the Chiefs. I really like him as a corner. So in this game, it'll be interesting to see because of his familiarity with the Chargers, because he played in the AFC West pretty much his whole NFL career, because he's a four-year pro. So that's going to be interesting.
So if you see some wide receiver jerseys that look stretched out, you know who guarded them. So let's get on to key number 2. And today's number 2, we're going to let the minister go right next on his, as y'all see his key. Go ahead, G. What you got, folks?
Y'all see it. It's simple. Stay ahead of the chains. We've been hearing this all season, whether it's Arthur Smith, whether it's Marcus Mariota. They always talk about avoiding the negative play. Dave Ragone, if you listen to these guys in these press conferences, when they do their weekly press conferences, which I listen to pretty much all of them because they give you key nuggets. Even though they try not to give away the game plan, they give you key nuggets of what this team is about and kind of what they're trying to do. So staying ahead of the change is something that Arthur Smith preaches and Marcus Mariota has been harping on. Avoiding penalties. Don't beat yourself. I talked about that going into this season. Good teams don't beat themselves. Penalties on first down that cause it to be 1st and 15, 1st and 20, like holding penalties, offsides, those, you can't have those penalties in this game because the Chargers are a team that likes to pin their ears back. So in this game, you want to stay ahead of the change. That's paramount. And we know that Khalil Mack is on the other end. Bosa's not playing in this game because he's injured, but Khalil Mack is one of those guys that can ruin a game if you start playing behind the chains, meaning you start getting those those penalties. That's when those guys can pin their ears back. And you want to stay out of 3rd and longs. You want to stay away from 3rd and long. So I don't care, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, come out in this game and run the football, because the Chargers are one of the worst teams at stopping the run. When I went and looked up their scoring defense, they're 31st in the league in scoring defense. So yeah, they have James, the safety from Florida State. He's one of those guys that's similar to like a Jamal Adams, where he wants to come down in the box and be physical and fly all over the field. He's better in coverage than Jamal Adams, and he's one of the better physical safeties in the game. He's a playmaker, but in this game, I want to be physical in this game. I want to rough them up. I want to see double teams and chips on guys like Khalil Mack. I don't want to see it 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. You don't want to be in obvious passing downs. And I think that's one of the things and why they keep preaching and harping on stay ahead of the chains is because when you stay ahead of the chains, you make it easier for the play caller in Arthur Smith and Dave Ragone to call plays. Because when it's 3rd and short, like 3rd and 2, even 3rd and medium, 3rd and 5, that can be a run or a pass. But when you get in those 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, the defense knows this is an obvious pass. Either it's an obvious pass or it's going to be a draw play. Like if it's 3rd and 20, we already know draw. They're not finna, take no chances, especially if you're backed up. They're not going to take any risk of throwing an interception on our own end of the field. So in this game, 1 and 2 yard runs, hammer that ball with Algier, Huntley, and then this game, hopefully Cordell Patterson comes back. If Cordell Patterson comes back in this game, it's going to be really good in the running game because last week we seen Marcus Mariota's been the X factor. Surprisingly, he's been the X factor in the running game. Last week, his 30-yard run at the end of the game got us in field goal range. And if you guys go back and look at that 3rd down play, there was 2 guys in the backfield that could have easily had a sack. I think it was Brian Burns pretty much had Marcus Mariota wrapped up. And Marcus Mariota is one of those guys. He may not make all of the elite passes as everybody wants to see, but he's getting the job done with his legs when it's time. Because that run last week was crucial in overtime. That 30-yard run was crucial. So in this game, it's going to be important to establish that running game. Stay out of the 3rd and longs. You can't have those penalties because that's when the Chargers like to bring the blitz. That's when you see James coming on the blitz. That's when you see Khalil Mack pinning his ears back. We want these guys guessing on 3rd down. Are they throwing? Are they running? Because like I said, when you in 3rd and medium and 3rd and short, you make it easy for Arthur Smith to call plays. You don't have a ton of plays in your playbook for 3rd and long. So in this game, you got to stay ahead of the chains. If you do that in this game, I think the Falcons definitely have a chance to win, especially because we're at home. And I think that we can control the clock. And if you stay ahead of those chains, you're going to stay on the field on 3rd downs. We got to avoid the 3 and outs because that's what killed us in that game against Cincinnati. What really killed us was those 3 and outs. Those first 3 and outs, when they were able to go up 21-0, that's what killed us in that game. So stay ahead of the chains and stay on the field on 3rd down. Keep those Herbert on the sideline by the Gatorade.
You actually just said exactly what I was going to say. Keep him cold.
Yeah.
But Mike, what's your take on that, man? Stay ahead of the chains. So my question to you would be, as far as staying ahead of the chains, is what do you think would be the game plan for the Falcons to establish that?
Well, I think the stay ahead of the change is pretty much the right way to go about it. But I think you look at this particular game, is that one of the things that have plagued the Falcons this year is early starts or slow starts. Gotta get quicker start. So I've been suggesting this all year. We got to make sure we get Drake and Kyle going early. I do not want to see Cordero Patterson touch the ball. I don't want to see those guys running the ball 15, 20 times in the first quarter, even though we know it works. All right, we know it works. But if the Falcons are going to continue to grow as an offense, and you hear what I said, offense. I didn't say they're going to score points. The Falcons can obviously score points anytime they feel. They're still one of the best offenses in the league as far as scoring is concerned. So they can rack up the yards. But the issue with the team is getting off to these quick starts. So I think this, in order to stay ahead of the change, man, I think we're just going to have to feed him more. Feed him more. You got to feed him more. And I'm not talking about Kyle Pitts. And I know a lot of you fantasy football fans are probably mad as hell because I said that. But we need to feed Drake. Feed Drake. I told you when that kid got the ball in his hand, man, it just something happens. He just you could just look at how when he touches the ball, his demeanor just completely changed. That run, that little the pick where he had OZ going in the slot and he kind of did the little fake inside slant. He bounced off a defender, bounced off another one. Like those are the things you need to get him going. Like I said, he feeds off of physicality. So if the Falcons are going to be able to stay ahead of change, I think they really have to use Drake London as the offense because we kind of saw it last week with Kyle Pitts. We went to Kyle Pitts, we got him involved early, but everybody expect us to go to Kyle Pitts. They expect us to go to CP, but nobody's really thinking about, all right, what about this Drake kid? Nobody would expect him. So I think Drake London would be the perfect person to kind of get their offense going and stand ahead of the change. Feed him.
Yeah, as you say, if something happens, I kind of look at it in that same breath, but I'm looking at it more so as the team aspect because, like you say, even when Kyle Pitts gets the ball and it kind of jubilates the offensive players and the offense itself, I don't know. It's like when Drake gets the ball, it's like it's kind of like when Cordero Patterson gets the ball. You know how it kind of rejuvenates and it just lifts a certain energy for these guys.
A certain energy, you can see it.
You can see it because now guys are starting to fight harder. They already fighting on offense, but it's like a different aura when Drake touches the ball early. You got that's what happens when you saw Cordero Hodges blocking folks, throwing folks in the stands and stuff like that in that Cleveland game.
Right. It's just different when Drake touches the ball, man. That's one thing I noticed. It's like you got a team full of heavyweights and one person get one knockout and then here we go. It's like I can knock somebody out too. Let me go. That's how things started. So I think Drake, like I said, it's just something about Drake when he touches the ball, man. This Falcons offense just looks so the energy is just so different.
I see KG David talk about jubilate. Yeah, I just had a Stephen A. Smith moment. My bad, y'all. You know how Stephen A. Smith be coming up with words in the wrong context and stuff. Hell, I don't even know what context I use that in. Let me rephrase it then. Let's unpack this. That sounds about better anyway.
Right.
But yeah, Drake kind of brings a different energy. I don't know. It's like a brawler's mentality.
It's that friendly competition that you remember when you had Steph and Clay. They used to have like either a 3-point shooting contest in the middle of a game. It'd be a middle of a game, and they're like, I could do that too. He started hitting shooting free half court shots, and then Steph started hitting one, and then now you got everybody in. That's how it is for Drake when Drake London catches the ball. It's just like everybody trying to one up each other, and I think that's what this offense needs. It's already a physical offense, so you're going to be serious. So you need that one guy that's going to bring that different type of energy to get everybody rolling. I think Drake is that guy for
it. So yeah, Jew, man. Yeah, I think definitely staying ahead of the change, man. Like time of possession will be our friend. Time of possession and scoring touchdowns will be our best friend. Now, if you got time of possession and kicking field goals, no. That don't work over here. Because Falcons top 5 in the league in scoring touchdowns in the red zone. Let me just put that out there right now. Got to keep that going. So let me go ahead and read a few of these comments, man. If y'all don't mind us reading a little bit of these comments, see what the people thinking. Jay Murphy just said, yeah, Kyle Pitts get involved early and often, point blank period, end of discussion. At the end of the day, the passing offense is still a very important piece of this offense as well. But there's a reason why I'm saying that as well, and we're going to leave that later after we get Mike's damn key. And this is a very big point here, too. Ted Sports here said Herbert still got them ribs. We need to make him feel it. Hit him in the ribs. Let's see. I'm trying to get one more. I guess some people are saying that Cordell Patterson may need to sit this one out. I wouldn't necessarily sit out, but be on a pitch count. So, as that being said here, we're gonna close out the 3 keys with the mad scientist, because we thought he needed a break after that rant earlier, so we let him decide to be the closer on this one. What you got for them people, Mike?
Well, I think when you look at this fountain, I'm big on culture for this, and this is why I'm so focused on the coaching this year. It's because we need to establish a culture, and we still got a bunch of fans that still don't believe in anything the Falcons do. We can go 10-0, and these Falcons fans will look for something negative to hang on. So, reason why I chose this to be a key to victory is we got to establish the culture. Establish the culture. If you're going to be a championship team, you're going to win championships, you're going to be a formidable opponent for years to come, got to establish culture. You got to make sure that these fans looking at 28-3 like it was a distant memory. And the only way you're going to do things like that, you got to make sure that they forget about that type of stuff. And one of the things that plagued the Falcons for years is getting our ass beat by teams that was pretty much had no business winning games. You're losing to teams like Jacoby Brissett-led teams, and you got rookie quarterbacks who, like Marcus Mariota at the time, a very young Marcus Mariota, losing the teams that we had no business losing it to. So if the Falcons want to establish that new culture, they got to come out and look, we first place. What typically happens when the Falcons were in first place? We'll lose that business the next week. The exact same next week. Be in first place, something go wrong, we lose it. So the Falcons want to shut these damn fans up and shut them retards like D-Led up. Yeah, D-Led a retard. If you guys didn't see that press conference today, he was in his that dude was in his feelings today. I don't know what's wrong with D-Led. But if they're gonna shut guys like D-Led up, they gotta come out and spank the living hell out of the Chargers. No excuses. I don't give a damn if CP is coming off an injury. He needs to play. Because it's about establishing the culture and establishing in fans' minds. Because most of us still got PTSD. We still thinking about waking up at middle of the night, thinking about 28-3. Why we didn't run the damn ball? So we need to come out right now because a lot of these media guys are all on the nuts of Justin Herbert. He ain't nothing but a fake Matt Ryan clone. Okay, that's all he is. He's a fake Matt Ryan clone. So we need to come out, establish, punch his ass in the mouth, run the damn ball down their throats, do what we did last week when you had Lorenzo Carter catch the interception, run that bit. We need to make sure that these people know when they come to the Benz, you coming to war, you coming to fight. So all of this, we need to sit CP down. Nah, he needs to play because it's about establishing the culture, making sure our fans know that this team, no matter who is the starter, we got Tyler Algier, we got Caleb Huntley, we got those guys ready. Punch them in the mouth. Let them know this is the new Falcons. This is a new culture. And little prissy-ass wide receivers like Calvin Ridley ain't got no place here in Atlanta. That's the old Falcons. You don't want to be here. I don't give a damn how much money you want. Julio Jones, $60 million. That shit is gone. You're going to come here and you're going to earn yours. So we need to establish the culture, punch this team in the mouth, and let them know what Atlanta Falcons football, what the real Dirty Birds were. The Chuck Smiths, the Jamal Andersons. That's what we need. Establish a culture.
And while you were speaking on very eloquently on the culture, we got a $4.99 super chat from Nicholas Stewart, which says the Chargers are horrible at run defense. Man, run the ball, set up play action, and go to London. That sounds about right. Thumbs up from the panel. Does that sound about right? Brought to you by the Heavy Hitters and everybody associated with everything that we do. Thumbs up. Mm-hmm. So, Jude, my question to you about this culture. You know what? I'm gonna say it like this. There's a reason why I asked that question at the beginning of the show as far as how long have y'all been watching what we've been doing? I got a question for both Jew, Mike, and everybody watching. When I say run the damn ball, what did you think? If you've been watching long enough, you would know what I mean. But what do y'all think that means?
We'll wait for the chat. Give him some, as you like to say, give him some intermission music.
Intermission music. Give some intermission music. Do I need to give him some of that old, some of that throwback?
Yeah.
Give some of that throwback. And while we're doing the intermission, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for Jew Talk Sports. It's Man K Styles and Mad Mike Sports. As we continue to grow this trio of minds, you can help us put the word out there in the algorithm. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your baby mama, tell your sugar daddies, sugar mamas, dogs, even the goofy ass stray cats down the street. that the heavy hitters is here to stay. So the question is, what do you think that what run the damn ball means? Some of these questions is this dude D. Coleman is funny. He talked to my sugar mama, had to cut her off. Damn, bro, what she do? You thought you was gonna get $500? She gave you $2. That's why you had to cut off. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Hey. Hey. I see a few comments here, man. Let's go ahead and cut that. Let's go ahead and cut it off. Throw a little throwback in there for y'all. Okay, let's see. Devon said he heading out here. Definitely appreciate it, man. And as you asked that question that you asked earlier about Michael Walker, should he play outside linebacker? Mike?
Hell yeah, because he don't belong in the damn middle.
We've been saying that for about a month now. He's a better outside linebacker than he is inside. Like the big ant here says, control the line of scrimmage. John St. Clair here said, establish control the line of scrimmage. Everything else flows from that. Brian People says, be physical and control the game. Dre Murphy here said, attack the weakness. Then if they got horrible run defense by running the damn ball down their freaking throats. Mm-hmm. Nice. Silas Draven here says, run first and sprinkle in some passing. And Blackberry just straight up just said, I just run the damn ball. And we got a $5 super chat here from Dre Harrison. Says the same vigor we play within our division, we need to make other teams feel, put dirt back in dirty, and make the other teams feel it. Okay.
I'm kind of irritated by all these comments, like, because I'm like, duh. That's not what running the damn ball means. Running the damn ball means is, yeah, you know I'm gonna run it, but ain't the shit you can do about it. Mindset. Yeah, you know Mike Tyson gonna give you that damn uppercut. But guess what? It's so damn fast and so quick, ain't shit you can do about it. That's what running the damn ball means. You know Marcus Mariota is gonna run, but ain't nothing you can do about it. You know Kyle Pitts is gonna get you to get the ball, but guess what? It ain't damn thing you can do about it. You know you're gonna get ran through and ran up and down the court by Golden State, but guess what? It ain't shit you can do about it. You know LeBron James gonna go straight to the hole, put that shoulder into you, and guess what? It ain't a damn thing you can do about it. That's what running the damn ball means.
What you think, running?
What establishing a coach is. That's what establishing a coach is. You know what's coming, but ain't damn thing you can do about it.
What you think, Jew? What you think run the damn ball means? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, Mike just said it. It's about opposing your will on your opponent. And that's why I said, to me, and I don't know if it's just because how how the NFL is currently, like the landscape of the NFL currently is. But I just thank God that the NFL landscape is the way that it is for our defense currently. Not saying our defense is bad, but I just feel like teams don't try to impose their will. Like if you seen the way that Carolina ran the ball last Sunday, like Mike talked about it in the after show, I was getting upset when every time I kept seeing what's his name, Foreman in the end zone flexing. I was getting upset because he was running through us. I don't care what we say. I'm a Atlanta Falcons fan. I'm gonna keep it real. He was running through us. I don't want to hear it. Like everybody wanted to sit back and say, yeah, we did our thing and we won the game. But if any team was watching that game on Sunday, if you have a good running back, or even if you don't got a good running back, if you got any type of running game, I'm licking my chops if I watch that game against the Panthers against the Falcons. We play Carolina after this, after the Chargers next week at Carolina. You don't think they're gonna run the ball again with Deontay Foreman? They're gonna run the ball. So that's what it's about. It's about imposing your will. Guys know I always talk about the trenches. The reason I harp on the trenches is because that's what football's about. Moving another man against his will. Like Mike talked about. Certain teams, you know what they're going to do. And that's pretty much what Arthur Smith he's establishing that culture. Mike was just talking about it in his key to victory is how many times we heard people keep talking about why won't the Falcons throw it? Why are we throwing it 15 times and running it 35, 40 times a game? Because Arthur Smith is trying to establish that culture, establish that dominance. Yeah, you know we're going to run it, but so what? Like Mike said, can you stop it? This is who this team is. This is our identity. We're going to beat you, and we're going to beat you our way. And I feel like you got to establish that culture. And I really think this last game, and that's why I said it was a must win, I really feel like this last game was key for this Atlanta Falcons, these players' confidence, because we have a young team. And I feel like this last game is going to build a lot of confidence because we actually won the game. I don't care what you say. Mike talked about that 28-3. When DJ Moore caught that football on that 62-yard touchdown, I'm not even on the field, but I started thinking, oh my goodness, here we go again with it's always something.
Yeah.
It's always something. So we needed that win last Sunday. And that's why I said I didn't care how the win came, whether it was we were lucky. I don't care. We won the game because I've seen the Falcons lose games in that same fashion. All of us Falcons fans have seen it. And one thing I love about this team is they play with that heart. Mike always talk about, he always hit his chest and say, you can't teach heart. When you got heart and you got fight, you can't teach that. So that's what I like about this Falcons team. But I feel like in order for us to build that winning culture, you got to establish the foundation. And I think Arthur Smith, they've done a good job of establishing that physicality, that this is going to be a physical football team. So when you say run the ball, that's what I think about. I think about we're going to impose our will. When you say that, the first team that comes to my mind or the first franchises that come to my mind are the Steelers. No matter who's on that roster, you know that the Steelers are always going to run the football. You know the Steelers are always going to play tough defense and be physical. I don't care what name is on the back of those jerseys. When you see that black and yellow roll out there, you know what you're getting yourself into. The same thing with the Baltimore Ravens. When you play against the Ravens, I don't care if it was Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, even the current players, like they getting Raekwon Smith. He's a perfect fit for the Ravens because we know what that brand is. The Falcons are trying to establish that brand of being physical. For the longest time, we didn't have an identity. So I feel like that is the big deal with this Falcons team is establishing that culture. So once we do that, because if you ask, poll any of our Falcons fans and say, what has been our stamp of approval? What is Falcons football? For the last couple years, it's been prissy, throwing the ball, soft football. Let's just be real. That's what we've been known for. Wide receiver you. Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu. Let's be real. That's what we've been known for. Throwing the ball around. The Falcons want nobody scared of us. But now with this current culture, these teams are not trying to come into this dome and play this team because they know you're gonna be in the ice tub after this game. Carolina came and they threw their punches, but trust me, they left out limping. Just like that game on Sunday, everybody was in the ice tub. That was a bruise them up 90s style football game. So that's what I think of when I think of run the ball is oppose your will. Run the ball through somebody's face, as Marshawn Lynch would say.
Oh boy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm glad everybody's saying that because for the last 2.5 years since we've been doing this show, we have been saying over here that very phrase, run the damn ball. When I first said it, basically like they said, it's a mentality, it's an attitude. This is what run. But did y'all notice I never said anything about not throwing the football, right? Did I say anything about not throwing the football?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because for some reason, when we use that term, some people think it's about us saying negate the passing game, just run the football 50, 60 times a game, all game, every game. That's not what that means. It's just like what you said. Before this year, the Atlanta Falcons pass run ratio was 65-35. Let me repeat that again. The average pass to one ratio for the Atlanta Falcons for the last 5 years. Hold on, let me get more in detail. When they drafted Calvin Ridley, the year they drafted Calvin Ridley, right after that, this was wait a minute. No. Before that, it was 17. This Atlanta Falcon team passed the ball on average of 65% of the time a game. Why do we say run the damn ball? Because you got to have balance. This is the whole purpose of that phrase. When you have a football team that throws the ball over 60% of the time per game, and even when they ran the ball that extra 35%, it was ineffective runs. This is why we say that the Falcons played prissy soft football for the last 5 years. Because nobody was scared. Everybody knew if their passing game was off, that whole team is off. When you run the damn ball, it takes the pressure off of your quarterback. It takes the pressure off of your wide receivers.
Takes the pressure off your offensive line that's backpedaling all day like they playing basketball.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was.
So instead of using the pass to establish the run, we're trying to use the run to establish the pass. Fellas.
I want to say one more thing, Kay, when you was talking about that. Not only does your offensive linemen are not backpedaling, but it's less thinking involved. Like, think about it. We talk about our linebackers that you should never get caught flat-footed. Well, it's the same thing when you're an offensive lineman. I've never played offensive line in my life, but watching guys play offensive line, you can be the aggressor. When you're playing, when you're pass blocking all the time, you're thinking, because if they're blitzing, I've heard Brian Baldinger say this all the time. He stated it's not really about when they come on a blitz. It's more about your offensive line knowing who to block when they're blitzing. That has you thinking. When you're running the ball, you know who you double teaming. The guard and center, you're gonna block up on the nose tackle. Like you know what you're doing, so you're doing less thinking. So as we talk about Michael Walker and our linebackers, their biggest issue is they're always on their toes, they're always back, they're always thinking, they're not playing fast, they're not reacting. When you're on offense and you're running the football, you're the aggressor. When you're passing, you're not the aggressive. At that point, you're thinking because you have to know, okay, on the line, who's making the line calls? Who do I got on this certain play? If I'm running the ball, I'm coming forward. I know who I'm blocking up on. You ain't got to tell me. I know where I'm going. So I feel like that's been the biggest issue as well with the Falcons, especially as far as our offensive line. We're looking at these guys like, why are they playing so much better? And we've said this numerous times, where you're allowing those guys to just be bullies and you're taking the thinking out of it.
Hulk smash! Hulk smash! Anybody ever seen Marvel? Everybody seen Marvel? What do they say? When they need one guy to do one destructive thing, they got one big target. What do? They look at Bruce Banner, aka Hulk, and say Hulk smash, and he does his job, and he makes everybody else's life so much easier because they done took out the big bad wolf. Hulk smash. That's what big guys want to do.
Yeah. Take the thinking out of it.
That's all they want to do.
Out of it. Yeah.
Hey,
take
Jude,
the thinking out of it. Just attack. That's all that you take the thinking out of it.
Jude, just think about what you just said. And I'm going to put this in perspective. Jude said when you're running the football, you're going forward. When you're passing the football all the time, you're going backwards. In order for the Falcons to get to where they need to get to, they need to go forward with their thinking, not going backwards.
Ain't no physicality in backpedaling. Let's be real. No physicality in that. You backpedaling. You in the fight, you running, you backpedaling. Ain't nothing aggressive about that.
You're so right about that.
It makes sense. If you're in the boxing ring and you running from the other boxer, it ain't nothing being aggressive about me dancing and running.
Exactly. See, just because the NFL is telling you that this is a passing league does not mean that's the only way to win football games.
Right.
Those quote-unquote passing teams that win Super Bowls, what do they do in the playoffs? Run the fucking football. Getting first downs, converting third downs, saying I'm going to punch you in the mouth and ain't a damn thing you can do about it. This is what running the damn ball is. So for some of y'all, for some of y'all that get mad at some of these Falcon fans and content creators that talk about why are we to talk about so much about running the football and not passing the ball? It's because the Falcons have been losing passing the ball for years. Why can't we try something different? Instead of throwing the ball 65% of the time, now we throwing the ball 45% of the time. You may think 10%, that's nothing. Nah, motherfucker, that's a big difference. I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to pay attention and go look up Marcus Mariota's stats throughout his career each season. And I want you to look at them at right around which time during the season where he normally starts going off. We talk about Marcus Mariota stats. He got the same numbers as Daniel Jones, and the Giants are 6-2. The Jets are 5-3, and Zach Wilson numbers don't look all that great neither. So there's plenty of ways to win in this league. Don't let the media tell you that passing the football is the only way you win in this league.
The Cowboys had Cooper Rush out here 4-1 or something like that. That man doing 120 yards a game. Let's stop.
Think about it like this. Passing the football is what lost the Cincinnati Bengals the Super Bowl last year. How about that?
Passing the football is what lost us the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Refusing to run the ball and taking what the defense was giving us, which has been our biggest issue, cost us the Super Bowl.
Passing the football lost the Chiefs the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay. How about that?
The Seahawks passing the football against the Patriots on the goal line instead of giving the ball to beast mode and let him run through somebody's face. Lost them a Super Bowl.
So, and let me give a shout out to Mucho Grundy with the $2 man. We definitely appreciate it. So, yeah, so anytime you hear somebody say about running the damn ball, they're not talking about running the ball 75 times, passing the ball 6 times. This ain't Georgia Tech. This ain't Paul Johnson offense.
Nah, we don't want that.
The only way you win in that league is if you get lucky that game. But instead of talking trash about Marcus Mariota and talking trash about Arthur Smith on why they're not passing the ball, you need to say to yourself, what is the team doing to accomplish getting that dub without passing the ball like that?
You know something, bro. Bubba Gump said in 2019, the San Francisco 49ers lost the Super Bowl because they refused to run the ball. Exactly. I think we got a trend. That got to be like the last 10 Super Bowls. Teams lost because they refused to run the ball and be physical.
The LA Rams. Look, the Rams lost the Super Bowl against the Patriots because what they forgot to do? Run the damn ball.
That was an awful game by the Patriots. Awful. It was terrible.
That was a 13-3 Super Bowl.
You had Todd Gurley in the backfield.
The number one offense in the league scored 3 points in the Super Bowl.
And they refused to play him in the Super Bowl. All you needed was one game. Todd Gurley could have retired a Super Bowl champion. That man wouldn't have cared about that.
Mm-hmm. Brian Peoples with the 199 said 49ers start running the ball cost. So, just because this is a passing league does not make the run game irrelevant. Y'all need to stop listening to ESPN and Fox Sports 1 and FanDuel and DraftKings and fantasy football gurus telling you that passing the football is the only thing matters in the NFL because they are bullshit and lying to you. I'm tired of seeing my team throw the ball 65 to 67% of the time every goddamn game.
Let me highlight something real quick. I want to teach y'all something about quarterback and play caller. Just want to teach y'all something. Just real quick. Just teach y'all something about play calling, and plays are designed based on coverage. Let me say it again. Plays are designed based on coverage. When you call a play, you have each route is designed to do certain things. is to attack the cover 2, cover 3, and you got the check downs for the flats. So based on whatever the defense shows you, it'll eliminate said route. So if you're playing cover 3 and then he got a post route, guess what? You already know. Guess what? The first thing you're looking for as a quarterback, you got a post route. They playing cover 2. What's the weakness of a cover 2?
Between the corner and the safety.
That's it. So guess what the quarterback is going to be looking for? He's not looking for the check down because he knows those corners going to be right there with the check down.
Mm-hmm.
His thing is going to be trying how can he maneuver this corner, or how can he make the call based on that? Just based on that's why you see these wide receivers going back and forth. You see the tight end going back because they're trying to decipher whether or not what the defense is doing. So based on coverage, that's what the quarterback's going to do. That's why you have multiple routes, okay? So when I see comments like Falcons don't run certain routes to go deep, not true whatsoever. Not true whatsoever. They run routes, they run certain plays for certain coverages. So based on the coverage, that's what it's going to give us. So maybe maybe that's what the defense is only giving you. He's not giving you the deep pass. Maybe they don't want to give you the deep pass. They want you to check the ball down. You ever think about this? Play call is not as easy as people think it is. The defense can take it away. So when I see people saying Arthur's not calling deep shots, it's not true. The team is taking it away. So I just had to explain that to some people because some people really think Arthur is not out here calling deep shots and he's just not out here being aggressive. And it's not true. That's why you need multiple receivers and multiple weapons to be able to take things away. That's why you got now Damiere Byrd becoming an option because guess what? They know Kyle Pitts right now is probably the only deep threat. So they're going to get a ball. So what Arthur doing? He putting Damiere Byrd, the kids in position where they can catch deep pass. So that's why you need more than one option because they are going to take away your best option. That give these defenses a lot more credit than what we're doing. We just think Arthur's just not out here doing things. That's not true. Sometimes these defense coordinators are just great at taking certain things away.
Shout out to Brian Peoples for the 199 again. Said Matt Ryan threw 1,000 yards in 3 games and went 0-3. And Mucho here with a $1.
Yeah, they weren't worried about running the ball. That's why he was throwing 1,000 yards because they wasn't worried about that. The defense didn't worry about that.
Hey, Jew, I got a question for you, and I got a question for everybody else because where it kind of seems like to me with this passing game, where I think where this passing game, run game kind of debate and conversation comes down to, it kind of comes down to the fact that Kyle Pitts is not getting the numbers that everybody thought he was. So let me ask the people here in the room tonight, if Kyle Pitts had the numbers like a Travis Kelce right now, but the Falcons were 0-7, would you say the passing game was successful?
I'm sorry. People don't know what the hell they be talking about. Oh, Arthur don't have the right personnel. Maybe the defense don't want them to play that personnel. They can dictate personnel. You play by not having certain people on the field. Yeah,
like it always come down to the fact that either Kyle Pitts doesn't really have the numbers, Drake doesn't have the numbers, or Mariota doesn't have the numbers. But what if they did have the numbers and the Falcons were 0-7?
We worried about that passing game now. Nobody be worried about the passing game if we was 0-7. Nobody would care.
Because we're 4-4 and we're already screaming quarterback change. Now, if we was 0-7, how more ramped up would that be?
We already seen it though. That's what's crazy. Like we're comparing, like we're talking about it like we haven't seen it. Let's make it make sense, people. We just had Matt Ryan here, and all we did was throw the ball. Was we successful doing that? The last couple seasons, were we successful last season? No.
Oh,
I really don't understand why some of the fans don't like know what we were getting ourselves into. Like when they hired Arthur Smith, we seen Arthur Smith in Tennessee. In Tennessee, did they take a bunch of big shots down the field, or did they run the ball 1,000 times with King Henry? We knew what we were getting ourselves into. Like when we got Arthur Smith, we pretty much knew that he was coming here to run the football. That's what his style of offense is. So yes, can we throw the football? Yes, but his scheme is built on running the football. We know that. It's just like Kyle Shanahan. His offense is built to run first. So we knew, like, if we're expecting to see Marcus Mariota pass for 4,000 yards a season, we're not going to see that in this offense because that's not what this offense is made for. And that's why I keep trying to tell the fans, like, I don't care who you plug in at quarterback. You plug Ritter in this offense. We've seen Matt Ryan in this offense. Even Matt Ryan's numbers went down. He almost hit 4,000, passing yards. But in this offense, it's not really about Marcus Mariota. It's about the style of offense that we're running, similar to the Ravens. If you watch the Ravens play, the offense that they're running with all of the tight ends and the big formations, and they're built to run the football. That's what we're seeing with Marcus Mariota. They're not asking him to throw the ball 1,000 times because that's not what Arthur Smith's scheme is. So I really feel like, do you guys want to win games or do you guys want to look cute? That's the real question. Because we've looked cute the last couple years. We had all of the weapons you want. We had Calvin Ridley. We had Julio Jones. How did that work out
Set
for us?
NFL records for the best duo, quarterback wide receiver duo, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. They ain't give us a damn. We couldn't even get to the damn playoffs with that.
I ain't sniffed the playoffs in 2018.
Exactly.
We put up a lot of y'all honest though. Yeah, Julio looked real good doing it.
The years that we went to the playoffs, we was running the football. We had balance.
And to be honest, this formula, you can't say that this formula doesn't work, because if you look at just this season alone, these first 8 games, you can legitimately say we've had a chance to win every single game, maybe but one. Like the Cincinnati game is the only game you can kind of say that they were leading the whole game and they kind of just blew us out of the waters. But every other game, we've been right there. Like a bounce here, a bounce there, a turnover here, a turnover there, you win the game. The Saints game, you can technically say we should have won. We dominated. The Rams game, we were one interception away from winning the game. So, I mean, all of these games based off of the style of football that we're playing, it's going to keep you in every single game. So I like this style because I seen when we had Matt Ryan here getting sacked 1,000 times a game. We can't say that every game we played when Matt Ryan was here was close, because there was games we were getting blown out. And that was because we were trying to throw the ball and we weren't balanced. We got out of balance. So I really feel like this scheme works. We're seeing it. It works. We just got to be patient. It works. It's proof in the pudding, as they say. We can look at these games and say, man, the Falcons are in every single game. It's a reason why we're 6-2 against the spread. I seen that today on Twitter. They're saying that the Falcons are 6-2 against the spread with Vegas. Single game, you can literally say that this Falcons team could easily have 1 or 2 losses. We can't say that in the last couple of years when we were losing those games, when we were a pass-heavy team.
And Mucho Grundy came with the $2, man. He said, at this point, how do you think they'll utilize Cordero Patterson?
Exactly how we've been using them. The end. Like, you want him to go, kick returns, or you want him to be the quarterback, run the Wildcat?
Whatever the hell they need him to do.
I think that they'll still
The
probably
way he been doing.
they'll probably give him less carries. I'll say that because I keep saying this. CP getting hurt was a blessing in disguise in this aspect, that now you know what you have in Tyler Algier, you know what you have in Caleb Huntley. There's no more innuendo like of what can Caleb Huntley do. It's no more of that. Like, you don't know what he can do. You know what these guys can do now that they've been the guys that have been starting and been playing. So the good news in that is now you know what you have. So you don't have to feel like we got to be so CP centric. Like, we got to give CP 25 carries. No, you don't, because you know what these other guys can do. So now you can move CP around. You can put CP in the slot and let him go out and catch a pass, because you can put Tyler Algier or Caleb Huntley in the backfield, and they're actually a threat now because there's tape and teams have film on these guys where they like, okay, Caleb Huntley can break off a big run. So I got to focus. Before it was just like, okay, anytime CP's in the game, the defense is focused on him, where now you've seen what these other guys can do. So like I said, CP getting hurt was a blessing in disguise, because now you don't have to rely and be so heavy focused on get CP the ball. I love last week's game plan because you gave the ball to everybody. K Styles talked about it. I think we had 8 different pass catchers last week. That's what you want to see. Spread the ball around, because now you can't focus on just Kyle Pitts. You can't just focus on CP. Now you got to worry about Damiere Byrd. Now you got to worry about Zacchaeus. Now you got to worry about Drake London, because it's like, oh man, these guys are making plays. So now we can't just double team or just focus on one guy. The ball's going to get spread around. So I definitely think that CP getting hurt was a blessing in disguise, because now you know what your young guys can do, and you built those guys' confidence. Like I said, it's one thing of being a star at practice. It's a whole nother thing when them lights come on Sunday, and it's now you out there in a live game, and you got to prove what you can do. So these guys now, go ahead, Mike.
You forgot other guys that just got acclimated to the offense. We can
Avery
use them.
Avery
Williams, Damiere Byrd, those guys coming on end rounds. You have options now.
So it's not all about the CP show no more. I love CP. Trust me. CP gonna get his touches because we know CP, he that dude. But now you got to focus on just more than just him. Because to me, before it was just like those first couple games, I don't feel like the coaching staff actually showed the belief in the other guys until they had to, okay, now we got to put these guys and let these guys start. But now it's no excuse. Caleb Huntley was on the practice squad. Not no more, because he showed us that he a beast. So now with CP coming back, you're not putting Caleb Huntley back on the practice squad. He going to still be getting carries.
Which means don't be surprised you see a Brian Edwards inactive list for the rest of the year, for the foreseeable future.
Wow.
Do not be surprised.
Let me say one more thing about formations too. People keep talking about, oh, you're not in the right personnel, and we're not using the right personnel, and we're not using the right formations. Formations are basically how coaches attack weaknesses of defenses. That's what formations are all about. Okay, so when you see 3-4 tight ends, guess what? They're attacking the linebackers and safeties. When you see those when you see those and the Falcons in that pistol formation, guess what? They're attacking the middle of the offense, the middle of the defense. Our inside guys are better than your inside guys. Let's get it. That's what the formation is about. So when I hear people say things about, oh, he's not using this personnel, well, maybe that's the strength of his personnel. Because then everybody knows that our best offensive lineman is clearly Chris Limpson. So why would we be in the spread? That's not using his strength. Everybody's so focused on the wide receivers and the running backs, but guess what? When you got a monster up front like Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom, those guys love to run the ball. That's what you do. You get dirty. You get nasty.
And shout out to 3 Dirty here Speaking of dirty, shout out to Three Dirty here. He said, this is a teaching channel, whether you want to admit it or not, because a lot of fans only watch football on Sundays. No tape study, no study of concepts. So keep that in mind when doing these videos.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Definitely appreciate that. Just like what you said, and just like what Juan said, death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Mm-hmm. You never know what you're gonna get. Falcons have so many ways where you can get beat by the run. Why would you stop?
Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, what I really think it is. Let's be real. Arthur Smith was never the popular choice for this team because of that particular offense that he runs. It's not a pretty offense. This is why Eric Bieniemy was the number one requested choice down here, is because they wanted the Kansas City offense down here. They wanted that explosive offense.
The funny thing, we got the Kansas City offense. We just not passing the ball as much. I don't know why people don't realize it. That's the only thing. The only difference, they run a ton of pistol.
They run a ton of pistol. Difference is they got more speed at the wide receiver position than we do.
Yeah. The difference. They destroy the middle of the field with their tight ends and their wide receivers and backs coming out of the backfield. Just saying. This man knows exactly what he's doing. While you admiring other teams and admiring other personnel, yeah, we're running the same exact offense.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference, we don't have a Miko Harmon at wide receiver that can blow the top off.
But yeah, man. Yeah, like I said, really, because at the end of the day, man, if Kyle Pitts had the numbers he had, wouldn't nobody be talking about this offense. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's all about Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, it's all about Kyle Pitts. It's the Kyle Pitts show.
If Kyle Pitts had about 600 yards in this offense right now, we wouldn't even be hearing backlash about it. Everybody else could have 150 yards, but if Kyle Pitts had like 6 something, we good.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. For somebody that everybody considered a bust after last year, they damn sure shot jocking his nuts right now by him getting the ball. But if you study Arthur Smith's offense, the tight ends don't get big numbers like that. Hell, the Kyle Pitts numbers was an anomaly in itself last year.
I think they tired of what teaching.
Oh, okay, man. Man, we hit it. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we about to hit that 1 hour 30 mark anyway. So let's go ahead.
Challenge y'all. We just try to challenge you guys to think differently. Stop looking at the team and why they're not using this personnel or they're not. Maybe that's our strength. Ever think about that? Just because we have one guy that's good at running certain routes don't mean everybody else is doing it.
Mm-hmm. So
that's how Demir Bird is getting wide open. He can take that curl because Kyle Pitts and Drake London are spreading the defense, and all he has to do is catch the ball, make one move, and he's gone. Touchdown.
I just want to say this real quick, fellas. When it comes to Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, they've made some questionable moves. But what I want to tell the fan base is this: I've been giving these guys the latitude and the longitude to make their moves that they want to make because they're winning. Yeah, they're doing it their way. But if we were sitting at 0-8 right now, 1-7, okay, we can start, what I'm saying, getting on these guys. And we should be second guessing these guys. But you guys know I love me some Debo. I love me some Deion Jones. But if y'all want to bring Rashaan Evans in here and we're in first place in the division, so be it. I'm a Falcons fan at the end of the day. And that's how I look at it. Yeah, it was nice having Julio Jones. Yes, it was nice having Calvin Ridley. But at the end of the day, I want this team to win a Super Bowl. That's what we got. What we all on this panel and all of us in the chat want to see is this team be successful. And if you can do it by death by 1,000 paper cuts, by dinking and dunking it down the field, and you get me a Super Bowl that way, hey, I'm happy with it. If you can build a defensive juggernaut on it instead of an offensive team, I'm down for it. If we can run it 50 times a game, but we end up winning a Super Bowl doing it that way, so be it. Even if we don't have a franchise quarterback and it's Marcus Mariota on that podium holding up that trophy, it doesn't matter to me. What I want to do is win. That's it. That's all we care about as the heavy hitters. That's all we care about as true Atlanta Falcons fans. So I stopped second guessing these guys because right now what they're doing it their way. We called it the bad guy era. Arthur Smith has came in here. He's changed the whole locker room. He's pretty much, him and Terry Fontenot has clean house from the guys that were here, the Calvin Ridleys, the Julios, the Matt Ryans. That team is gone. Those players are gone. But at the end of the day, I feel like we really shouldn't be second guessing these guys for the mere fact that they're winning. As long as they're winning, I say it like this: do it your way, but you better win. They're doing it their way and they're winning and it's working. So as fans, I don't understand the disappointment. I don't understand why we need to second guess every single move these guys make, because at the end of the day, it's working. So that's what I care about. It's, as they say, it's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You can win. There's other ways to win than just throwing the football, is what K Styles was trying to tell you guys. So as long as we get the dub, I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. Winning should be the bottom line.
Look. Didn't nobody give a damn about Cadillac Williams and what's the other running back y'all had? Everybody loved that Auburn. What
are you talking about?
Ronnie Brown.
Ronnie Brown. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved when they did that. But somehow when the Falcons do it, nobody cares. Georgia been doing it for years. Georgia Tech been doing it for years. Everybody loved it then, but somehow when the Falcons do it, nobody cares about it. Bro, come on, man. I don't get it, man.
I'll leave with this.
I don't get it.
Mike, you can't stand Stetson Bennett, but he won y'all a trophy. He won y'all a national championship. Out of all of the quarterbacks that y'all done had, Matt Stafford, all the guys that y'all done had, Stetson Bennett won y'all a national championship.
Just win, baby. You will shut me up. I ain't got nothing to complain. When we win, hush it. That's it. That's all I want. I want to
win. Look at here like this. I'm gonna give it to you my way. Y'all can have the Instagram BBL models. Give me a woman that watches football that don't mind wearing sweats all day. Ooh, give me a woman that's a nerd. You can have the IG 9s, 10s, Birkin bad tricks, all that. I don't give a damn about that. I want, like I said, I like my women how I like my women that watch sports. I like my women that don't mind not wearing makeup and still being beautiful. This is what the Falcons offense is. It's not pretty,
but to get the job done.
Exactly. So that would have been better off if I'd have did that with the music, but I gotta make sure everybody had to hear that. So let's go ahead and end it off with the right tone.
Just win, baby.
And Malcolm X says, by any means necessary. So we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in to the Heavy Hitters. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Six Man K Styles as well as Utah Sports and Mad Mike Sports. And stay tuned tomorrow for Dirty Bird Thursday over on AFN with our family over there. As y'all see Miss Maggie T in the damn chat, y'all gonna see them over there. They're gonna give you their takes on this matchup. And probably talk a little bit more about the acquisitions we saw yesterday. So, as we give you your nights back, and I gotta go to work in the morning. So until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh no.
We here to stay.
Oh yeah, dig it.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you gotta get the heck out of here. Deuces.